All right, we are live, guys. All right, everyone, welcome to another Kryptonaires AMA, and tonight we bring to you Starlink satellites. Uh, RMI, if you want to introduce yourself.
hmm I'd love to. Yeah, thanks for having us, guys. We really appreciate it, especially you, Scott. Going through the going through the whole
Love
process
to,
with
yeah.
us. Thanks for having us. Um, and of course, Sensei, thanks for putting this together. We're super happy to be here. And my name is Robert Morgan, and I'm the one of the co-founders of Starlink. And our dev will be joining in here soon.
I
If he
just
did,
added
yeah,
him.
yeah, excellent.
There he is.
And awesome. What's up, Deck?
What's
Um,
up?
what's going on, brother?
How's it going,
We're
man?
just doing
How you doing?
Oh,
so
just some intros.
just doing some intros. But yeah, I've before DeFi, and I've been DeFi for now about 2 years. Before that, I was in a coding, software engineering, and traditional markets, so Wall Street and things of that nature you could imagine. And for the past year and a half, almost 2 years now, I've ran a smart contract audit company, and been recruiting and managing full stack developers all over the world, and been helping out with some recruiting agencies and met some great contacts along the way. And we wanted to put together some great protocols and help out some some investors, and decentralized finance is so important. We really wanted to shine the good light on it, and make it something that's known and something that could be useful in the near future to everyone, and show its utility. And that's why I'm here with you guys, and that's why we're doing this.
Cool, man. Well, thank you for coming by and chopping it up with us. We'd love to get into the project.
hmm
Deck, did you want to maybe introduce yourself, maybe your experience in developing and kind of what your background is for people watching this at home?
Hey, how you all doing? Just you all can call me Mason.
Mason.
And,
All right,
Mason.
Mason.
Yeah, and I'm actually from US, and I've been involved in crypto space for about 4 years now. And I'm a blockchain engineer, well, a former blockchain engineer, and specialize in smart contracts and all kind of like anything like blockchain related. And yeah, I mean this just a quick short introduction, I guess, to let kind of break the ice out, hopefully. And yeah, and it's a bear market time, so hopefully everyone just stay safe out there. Don't gamble any saving. Just save up your money. Invest in like really do your own research at this time before investing in any protocol or projects, either DeFi or any like crypto projects going on out there, and just and stay away from dot change. That's all I can say.
Awesome. Well, here let's kind of get into it, guys. So the project is Starlink Fi, right? So, why this project? Why did you guys go down the road of a quote unquote node or reward pool token system? I'd love to hear
hmm
what the thought process was, what the research you guys have done on past projects with similar models
Absolutely.
that failed, and kind of just paint the picture for us. That'd be great.
Absolutely, I would love to. You're super familiar. I think everyone is here with Horde Protocol, right? We saw in the past, we saw Fire, we saw Strong, we saw these node projects have this unreliable, too high of a yield that wasn't substantial, right? This ROI that was insane, and people loved it. They did great initially, but we all knew insolvency was going to be a case here, and they ended up just completely collapsing and evaporating, right? But over time has told us that Horde is the best protocol out there for long lasting sustainable return on investment, right? It launched in about April, March, and its liquidity manager, its price stabilizer has been a game changer, right? And they've been able to license that out to other projects as well. But they are about sitting at right now like $100 million market cap, still going strong, right? A traditional plot for them, node, in a sense, is 1,000 USD, and that helps you create a plot, and you're able to earn, your reward pool, right? And the ROI is fantastic, and it was substantial over a long amount of time. Here at Starlink, we realized we're like, wow, this protocol was really the winner at the end of the day. over the past 6 to 8 months. And you could say it was more sustainable than Celsius, 3AC, Voyager, and all of these different huge companies that have been insolvent lately due to the Luna crash or due to the economic recession globally in the US, things of that nature. But this protocol has been long-standing now for, 6 to 7 months. So when we were really doing our research, deep diving, we realized that Horde was the winner. So we were like, all right, how can we make it better? All right, how can we, expose it to people where everyone can be involved? And we realized that the 1,000 USD plot was pretty expensive, and especially now, a lot of people won't be able to afford that crypto. Everyone's, we see Bitcoin's down 60-70%, ETH's down 70-60%, rising back up because of the merge here soon, and so we wanted to make our plots, which are called satellites, 250 USD, which will give you 250% ROI in 200 days. So that's, if you calculate that, that's 1.25% per day. And that builds a reward pool that grows and is more affordable for new members. So we wanted to really expose it to everyone. 250 USD will be able to get anyone involved instead of a $1,000 plot that Horde had back in April or so. And that's only, go ahead.
Yeah, no. So yeah. Well, I'm glad you're talking about Horde. So Horde has been successful because of their liquidity management system, right? Their liquidity, the one that you talked about. So, do you guys have a system like that? Have you designed your own system? Are you going to be using Horde system, or do you not have a system like that to keep the price stable?
We do. We have our own liquidity manager, price stabilizer. We created our own. That's probably one of the, in our audits, you see like untrusted source that comes up as one of the issues. It's because it's a private code, right? Since we can license it out. But yes, we do. We have our own price stabilizer.
Cool. And then have you guys tested it yet, or is it not been tested? Because I know I've actually worked, I work very closely with Horde, and I actually been working with another person that created an LMS system, and before they deploy it on their project, they've tested it on other, just launching a smart contract and seeing if it actually is able to keep the price stable. Have you guys done any testing on the LMS system yet?
Yeah, let's. I guess that's my part coming into the talk right now. We've been actually testing them intensively on testnet and mainnet as well, and the way how our LM's gonna function is will be like way different than Horde. So I don't mind explaining a little bit into details right now, but okay, sure, I can go ahead.
Details.
If you've been working with Horde closely, you can just know that their smart contract, their token contract, is basically a fire fork. If you'll notice, is I've been examining the whole smart contract things of Horde. It's the same thing as Fire contract. Basically, it's Fire, is a fork of Fire, and then the only thing that make it a difference with that is have LMS, which is a liquidity management services, right? And the way how it works is basically, imagine you have the LM, which is like your treasury. So by either selling or buying it, you have like a threshold of the price for Horde. So for Horde, I can see is like $100. I think it's like hovering around $100 right now. So anytime that the price going up to 105 or like 106, that's when the LMs coming into play by selling the excess to keep the price not going above the 105. And also during the time when it's get a lot of selling pressure, the LM going into play by buying up using the treasury or like whatever the LM wallet is. So the way how we look into that, also we have whenever we see, because Horde, you can see that they are using proxy. So proxy is you cannot see the whole contract itself. There's always going to be some change going on. The developer is going on those, on a weekly basis. This will be the change of code going on. That in the background, we're not being able to, know what the source code is, and we also have our own proxy. So that mean we can implement further change along the road, and that we've been testing our own stock price stabilizer for the past month, and I'm about like 99% confident that even though the code may be it may not be the same as Horde LMS, but I'm extremely confident that it's also gonna work the same way as their Horde LMS working. And it's also end of the day the way we see it on the technical term, that we have to after the first initial phase of like bootstrapping liquidity, um, our main goal at the end of the day is to make sure that the LM wallet will be able to sustain in the long run. That's when that's our main long-term goal. That's what Horde been doing to make sure their LM is not running out of fund. Because make a very simple math is you have your own LM wallet, whatever amount you have, like a couple $1 million, and you have your output, which is your selling pressure, and you divide those together, you have the amount of maybe runway that the project can have before the whole thing collapse. But then the way how I see Horde doing, they have their own trading bot, they have their LM services, they're selling those, they're making fee out of those, and that's how they can either maintain or maybe increase their LM wallet in a sustainable way in order to keep the price at this stage. And
Right.
so doing those research together, testing those, back testing, and then back and forth, that's all like been test in the background. And at this stage we are ready to launch our project. So hopefully we can bootstrap enough liquidity going forward, and that's where it is to ensure the success of the project in the long run.
So what price are you guys going to be hovering around if you're using an LMS system?
$25.
Okay, that's what I thought I saw. And then are you guys going to have a 10% swing on that as well?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And so if you guys are using that liquidity manager, like what are you guys going to do to bring in revenue? Like I saw something that you're going to give people voting power and things like that. Like, are you guys planning on investing in other projects? Because if that's the case, like I would advise not to do that, because we've seen literally every single project that's done it in the past, like basically die. So
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally understand you when we see like it was back in the day, like what was it called, Treasury as Service, right? We saw them like invest in other projects. That's not substantial, right? Because we realize that DeFi is a huge risk, right? And we're you're like a really good shitcoiner if you get like 10% right? So so that's not substantial, right? We're in the process right now of going through our getting our LLC, and we're gonna have in real life investments to restaurants, real estate, and things of that nature. That's not on the roadmap, so that's a little secret bonus for this AMA, right? Because we realize those are substantial, and those are 25-year restaurants, long-term real estate properties, and that will bring ROI for sure over a long, substantial amount of time instead of investing in projects.
So like with that though, like if you're what was the amount that they were getting over 200 days? Like 250%?
250%, so it's 1.25% a day.
Okay, 1.25. So
Yeah.
But with just real estate and restaurants, like you can make good money personally, but if you have 30,000 people or 30,000 satellites, how are you going to be able to maintain 1.25%? Like I know that they decay after 200 days, but what happens if that exceeds that?
How do they keep? You mean how do the satellites keep adding value over time? Correct.
Well,
is that your question?
I guess my question is like, what happens if you have 30,000 plots made but those real estate deals, they're not bringing in 1.25% in revenue to
Right.
sustain those, and people just keep compounding, and to be able to keep the price within that 10% range at $25. I mean,
Yeah,
$250, like that's might be a lot to some people, might not be a lot, or it might not be anything. So, some people might make 150 nodes or something like that. But
correct. Right. Well, you got to realize, I might have misled you guys there. I might have got a little too hyped. But the real estate and the sushi restaurants investment's not the only thing we are doing. You can also, your satellites also appreciate and value with NFTs and the play to earn opportunities. We're creating a play to earn a game just like Horde. So there will be more ways than one to bring in that revenue. I was
Gotcha.
just
Yeah,
noting
sure.
that we won't be deganing, or however you want to say it, being degenerates into DeFi projects.
I
We
got you.
have a more long, substantial roadmap than that.
Okay. So
Mhm.
how many team members do you guys have?
Right now we're at, I'd say, between 10 to 15. We have a lot.
And do you know all of them? Or, I mean, I'm assuming some of them you don't. Like, are they all doxed?
There are some docs components, and then there's some undoxed components, right? Our devs are, of course, doxed, right? But when it comes to like marketers or people in the community side, that's up to them.
Yeah.
Right. Anyone on the back end and the front end, of course, is docs. They went through a KYC process with CoinScope, and then we keep going through our audit process with them, as well as we keep making fixes here and there to make it so it's compatible and things of that nature. Still scaling, but the docs and the undocs component is up to the individual, but all developers, of course, are known.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think the reason Scott asked is because we've seen
Mhm.
projects launch before where the founders don't know all the devs, and one dev builds a backdoor. You know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
we've seen the movie before, so he just wants to make sure that
It creates a problem.
right?
Of course, yeah. We've seen a huge problem with that when we do audits and stuff. We always ask the people, "Do you know these devs personally?" Right? We ask the project owners that, and they're always like, "No." I'm like, "What do you mean, no? He created your code, and you're gonna trust him with it?" I understand, some trust, but I mean, come on, this is a wild, wild west. So no, I completely understand what you guys are saying.
Awesome. Go for it, Scott.
Do you guys plan to sell licenses to your LM system as well, or?
Yeah, we already had some projects reach out to us and ask us for LMS. So
Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
correct.
Cool.
Mhm.
And I'm assuming that's going to help provide some revenue for the project as well, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And so you guys have, when someone creates a satellite, so you have 6 tokens that go to the treasury, 2 tokens that go to the team, and 2 tokens that go to the treasury, right?
So out of the 10 tokens that make a satellite, 6 tokens go to the reward pool.
Reward.
2 tokens go to the treasury to boost the longevity, right? Of course, and then 2 tokens go to the team.
Okay. And the 2 tokens, the 20% that goes to the team, what does that provide for you guys? Like, is that like marketing, or is that like to help pay salaries? Like, is it a multiple of things?
It's a multiple of things, right? Because we have a large team. We gotta pay people to keep them around. Money makes the world go around, and we have to pay some. Of course, marketers, right? And the more we get, the more volume, right? And
Gotcha.
implied volatility, we can pay the marketers and blow this thing really up, right? Because marketing is everything, exposure is everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was going to be my next question was, what are you guys going to do to plan to get out there in front of more people? I mean, I see your Discord and I see your Twitter, the accounts they're growing, but what do you plan to do to get more exposure?
Absolutely. Throughout my time in DeFi, we've seen a bunch of different kind of marketing strategies, go in and out, in and out, in and out. And one of my favorite ones personally, as of recently, has been Twitter Spaces. I think Twitter Spaces are huge. I think they're massive, and I think they're a great way to expose, a company, a project, something of that nature. We have an AMA with James Poston coming up, I think, in a couple days, and we're going to line up AMAs throughout the way, and we're going to line up influencers too. Even though influencers can be a pain here and there, they're absolutely essential to exposure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
So the contracts are audited. You guys, some are
Mhm.
doxed, like the developers, all of that.
Of course.
You guys are KYC'd through CoinScope. The
Mhm.
contracts are audited by CoinScope. Is there any type of multi-sig?
Of course, yes. There will be a multi-signature within the team and all the doxed people on the team,
Gotcha.
the developers and the
Excellent.
founders, right? That
Yeah.
we want to produce the most transparent and communicate everything that we're doing to our community and everyone about, right? And I think that's essential. But we also have to, some people have to protect themselves because unfortunately we're still in that place with regulation where it's kind of a gray area, right? Like for example, what just happened with the Tornado Cash developer, right? He creates this open source code, right? And people can use it for good or people could use it for bad, but he created it, right? That was his art, right? And
Yep.
you can create a smart contract if you want. And maybe he did something malicious, maybe he didn't. But based off the fact he just got arrested, based off the fact he created a smart contract and open source code, I think is just proves that we're in a place where really this type of decentralization is really not decentralized because the governments can go after whoever they want. So we have to be smart and protecting ourselves while still being transparent. It's kind of a catch-22.
Sure. Yeah.
Is the project registered in the U.S. or is it another country?
U.S.
Gotcha.
It-
Scotty,
the
what was-
LLC is going to be in the U.S. as well.
Correct.
Okay. Go ahead, Rob.
No, I was gonna say, I know you guys just said you guys.
Ooh, I think we lost him.
Hello.
There's Mike Rugg.
I don't know. But well,
Am I not here?
oh, there you are. Now you're
there
back.
you are.
Oh, okay, my bad, guys. No, I was saying,
Yeah.
let's talk about the NFTs and the game or games that you guys are working on. Let's start with how much are the NFTs going to cost, and what are they going to do for people that attach them to their satellites, to provide more passive income, and then we'll get into the games.
Of course, Deck. Do you want to talk about the games a little bit?
Sure. So for our NFT game, so far right now we are following basically the like the structural framework where NFT can be attached to a node, right, or whatever, a satellite, and it can produce the boost. And also for the price, we actually haven't decided on what the exact price for each NFT yet, because we have to see how the initial phase of bootstrapping liquidity first, and then we see how our scale can be before moving further and deciding on the price of the NFT. And for the game, we are actually planning a simulation to earn game where user or holder can participate in like a little strategy simulation to earn with like between different satellites and like the NFT and stuff, and you can have your own stats and your own attributes where each user can decide based on what attributes, what stat they're going against. And then we have our own different game room where they can join and use their own SLS token in order to beat and play on those on our simulation to earn game. And also with our own game, we have our own marketplace where you can redeem your SLS token for an actual real life project. No, not project, products. Like imagine you can redeem your SLS token for an iPad, or of course we'll come with a little extra fee, but we will have those like redeem function for our own game, where whoever can play the game and not investing in the project and can win and can redeem their token for either some actual prize and stuff. So for now we are still in the development phase for our NFT game. So we have to see how our pre-sale and everything's going out, and then at that time we can decide on the how fast or how quickly we can release our game and our NFT.
Fair enough. And when do you guys think you launch will be for the project? You guys are ready to go?
Yeah, we are ready to go, right? Like Deck was talking, we did a lot of back end testing, right? You have to do a lot of static code review, a lot of dynamic, automative, run it through Slither, all of the 9 yards, right? But we want to make sure it was ready to go. And so we are actually going to do our pre-sale next week. We do not have a date down so far, but next week will be our pre-sale. We want to do the post and AMA, see how that goes, and then go from there. It's all about being flexible because you never know what's going to happen to the market or what's going to happen and external factors that might affect your project indirectly or directly.
And what's the pre-sale going to start at? Like, how much are people going to be able to put in, and what are they going to receive for their money?
So right now, we're gonna have two phases of it. We're gonna have a private sale and we're gonna have a public pre-sale, right? So the private sale, it's 75% off, and then for the public pre-sale, it's 50% off of the launch price. So 10 SLS tokens is a satellite, right? So 75% off for that for the private sale, and then 50% off of the public sale.
Are you concerned with mass dumping with those?
Yeah, we are actually not worried because the token we are putting on our pre-sale and our private sale is a VSLS token. Is not an actual SLS official token. You can only redeem the VSLS for the note. So there's no chance of people dumping because the token is not supposed to be buying and selling. The VSLS, you only buying the VSLS on pre-sale or private sale, and then you can redeem those tokens for your note. Not
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That's how we
Mhm.
prevent the
Yeah.
dumping on launch.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. That makes sense. Yeah, that'd be a problem if they could swap them for tokens.
Yeah, that would be a huge problem.
that would be a kiss of death for you.
Yeah, it would.
Okay, so next week, so private sale is going to happen. Is there any type of well, I guess there wouldn't be any type of vesting period.
Mhm.
Is there, so once they buy their $250 for getting the satellites next week, is there going to be any type of like pre-sale or anything for the actual token itself?
Deck.
Yes, we are not having any pre-sale on the official token. So we only basically our pre-sale is only for the note. That
Okay.
means you have to buy the VSLS. You have to buy in increment of 10 because 10 SOS can be redeemed for one note or one
Gotcha.
satellite. So yeah, so basically our pre-sale is basically you buying the note itself, not the token.
Okay. All right. And then I don't remember hearing you talk a ton about the NFT, I guess. The NFT, are they going to be kind of like what Horde is doing with their NFTs? Like
Yeah.
it gives a little boost?
Yeah, I guess I was like kind of skimming through those, but basically our NFT, the plan we have for those is basically the U boost for the node.
Okay.
So we have like different tier for the NFT, and then each NFT can provide a boost to
Sure.
a specific node, and then also those NFT can be used for our play to earn games later
Yeah.
down the road.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I did hear that end part, but I didn't hear the beginning part. So what is going to be the price of the NFTs, or don't you know yet?
Yeah, that's the price. We haven't decided yet
Okay.
on that end. Yes.
Gotcha. And is there going to be like a limited amount of them at first?
Yes, there will be a limited amount of the NFT at first because again, end of the day, we need to know how the launch, all the pre-sales and everything's going, and then we have an according plan to scale our project accordingly. We raise our own. Let's say our pre-sale went out really well, we can plan our NFT to be like coming out right away with the price can be like
Gotcha.
much cheaper than than if
Okay.
our pre-sale doesn't go along like that well, I guess.
Yeah. And then do those NFTs, do they decay as well, like the satellites?
No, they're actually not. But then
Okay.
the thing is, the satellite can be decay. So after it decay, you can use your NFT and can be attached to a different satellite. But
Gotcha.
one NFT can only be attached to one node or one satellite.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, everything so far I think is pretty straightforward. I think, like Sensei said, we're pretty familiar with Horde and how they set up and everything. We talked to those guys quite a bit. Um, is there anything that we haven't talked about so far that you want to mention?
I just want to say right now at this stage of the market, we are looking at like a medium term or maybe like a long term bear market. So the way how we look at our protocol is we launching it in a very defensive way. That way, our investor investing in the project at least knowing that hey, end of the day, they know what they're investing at. Because even Horde, I know they're in order to catch up with paying out a massive amount of note. I know they have like 20,000 plots going on, so that's a huge amount of money going out of their LM every day. So I think they have their own trading bot who's making a percentage amount, and at the end of the day they also have some LMS. They're selling their own LMS, but
Right.
we don't know their exact revenue. And trading bot is just being a trading bot, right? You don't have an exact amount, or you cannot guarantee a performance
Right.
on the market. So end of the day is you don't know what the money is going into. You don't know what the treasury is doing. And then like end of the day at this market, you can even the next day they can say, oh, our trading bot is over leverage and all those kind of things. There's a lot of risk going on, right? So end of the day, our main focus for our protocol is a very defensive way. We will have our own LLC. That way, at least investor know, hey, this guy have some off-chain and on-chain investment as well, right?
Right.
They know like, oh, end of the day, what if the whole project fails? They say, oh, we still have a restaurant, we still have this physical investment, we still have something off-chain investment. End of the day, we can liquidate those and then pay back our investor. Worst case happening.
Right. And that was going to be my next question is like, what happens if like the worst case scenario happens? Like you guys buy, we'll say 5 restaurants and like in the project tanks or something, like, so you guys would just liquidate that, sell them, and then divvy up the
The
profit.
the price stabilizer.
Yeah.
And what happened to the deck?
Oh, I don't know.
He just left us. Oh, there he is.
I got disconnected. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're all
You're
right.
good. You're good. Right, but we have to, yeah, Scott, we have to play that by ear, right? We'll
Yeah.
cross that bridge when we get there, right? We have to maintain flexible and have different
Sure.
avenues and revenues and attack really this project in every scenario, to the best of our ability, right? Because we've seen in crypto and DeFi,
Yeah.
anything can happen. Anything can happen, right? I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff over the past 6 months. No one thought Luna could go from 80 billion to zero in 5 seconds. All right, Duquan definitely didn't think that. All right, just look at his Twitter. So it's we really have to be prepared for everything, and that's the first initial steps of that is getting the foundation. When the foundation is set and is strong, then we can start scaling and really maximizing our project and our connections for utmost efficiency. And that's really what we're focused on right now, making sure the smart contract works efficiently with no problems, getting our LLC registered without any issues, having our connections with the real estates and the restaurants going just as planned, and then it's off to the races. And then from there, we can pick and choose how we really want to leverage the spot we are in to benefit everyone that's involved in our project.
Sure. With the Deck had mentioned earlier about being able to swap like the rewards or token or whatever for like iPads or stuff like that. Is there any kind of concern of like gray area for on-chain, off-chain, and then with the business and all of that kind of thing? Have you like talk to a lawyer about that or anything like that?
Yeah, this that is further down the road. That is something that like in the back of our mind that
I gotcha. Okay.
can be further implemented. But for now, I just want to discuss the possibility of having an actual profitable revenue protocol in a sense, because end of the day we all want the word sustainable, right? We all want long term. We all focusing on our protocol having an actual revenue in order to you know pay our investor. That's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that keep the protocol being able to sustain in the long run, is by having an actual revenue. Or on crypto, you say it's having real you. This word been popping up all these day in on other chain, like you have like different exchange, GMX, DYDX,
Yeah.
those protocol with like having their own actual revenue. I know Red Light Finance, they launching their own chain now. So end of the day, it's about being flexible, being proactively reactive to the whole situation, because project can come and go. It's DeFi thing, like even in real life, startup popping up all the time. Like 80-90% of startup is gonna fail. But the only way we can tell how successful the project is by being proactively reactive. That's the word I want to say.
Yeah,
Being able
absolutely.
to being able to you know uh, push up all liquidity, launching the project, using our own connection, our own network, making sure we have enough revenue, all the revenue source coming in, treating it like an actual real business.
Right.
That's we consider this project is not some degen or out of the world DeFi protocol producing like 10-20% a day, something like that. So
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Um, oh, I just had one and then boy, what the heck was it? I don't remember what I was going to ask you next.
It happens to the best of us, Scott.
Yeah.
Just take a second, maybe regroup.
Man, I don't know what it was. Do you guys have anything else that you want to? Oh, I know what it was. Do you guys have any type of partnerships in the works or that you're able to talk about currently?
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. I didn't know I was on mute. Yes, we do. We have some partnerships in the work in the background that we don't want to speak on quite yet until it's pen to paper and they're moving forward with us
No problem.
in advantageous ways. But just like it's great. Network is net worth, and the team and I have been able to meet a lot of great people in DeFi. Probably the best people I've ever met working, in finance have probably been in decentralized finance, and some of them I know, and some of them I don't. It's kind of crazy, and it's a trip. And and over the amount of time, the 2 years I've been here in DeFi, I've met some great people, and hopefully we're able to put something together with all of them to really make something great out of this and benefit all the investors in DeFi and that participate in Horde protocols like SLS.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's all the questions that I have currently. I mean, I had a bunch wrote down, but you guys kind of answered them through just one question or another, so I don't want to go back and have you re-answer them and things. But yeah, I mean, if there's nothing else that you guys have to say, I think this is a good stopping point right here. So
Yeah, excellent. I just want to thank you and you, Scott and Sensei, for having us on the AMA. We really appreciate it. We appreciate your due diligence with setting it up. We know it was hectic. You're on you're out and about, and Sensei's a busy man. Trying to save DeFi. So
absolutely.
we really appreciate it, and thank you, Deck, for hopping on with me and knocking this out. And your technical terminology is exquisite. So thank you for jumping on, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate both
so-
you guys being here. I
Thank you.
like that I like that Deck showed up. I like being able to talk to a developer when they're available and come on and stuff like that. So that's sometimes when when you talk to like the CEO or something, but they're not too sure of the developer. You know, it just it's kind of sketchy and everything. Especially now, like there's so many rugs and people just or failed project or one thing or another, and it's just crazy times. So I really appreciate both of you guys being able to show up and
Yeah,
answer
also,
questions.
yeah, I'm really grateful to be here, and sorry if I, being a nerd earlier, been talking. I was kind of a little bit too into it, I
Oh
guess.
no, you're all right.
No, we love it. That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, I really appreciate your time. And just as always, guys, I just want to remind you guys to do your own due diligence, do your own research. Nothing talked about tonight is financial advice. So just don't invest more than what you're willing to lose in any project, not just this one, but that goes for everything. So everybody, you guys have a good night.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Take
Thank
care.
you. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys.